But like before, we like to switch it around, whether it's, you know, the music shows is always going to be here. That's always going to be the staple for me and Brown. That's
Absolutely,
the reason,
everybody.
like, longest running show in the community, blah blah blah. But we're cutting out the meat, no SC, no drama bullshit, no riffraff, no, you know what I mean? We're still gonna have
It's
fun
just
and
you and
stuff,
I.
but
And by the way,
yeah.
I got good news on Ark. He's gonna close the deal on selling his house this coming Friday. So after he moves to his new place, he'll be back with us full throttle.
Is he staying in Texas?
I believe so. Yes.
Nice. All right.
I was able to Gmail him earlier this week to find out how he's doing, and good news. He gave me that information of what was going on. He was selling his house.
Nice.
All right, there. So I got the list right here, and tonight we're spotlighting all
Go
the
ahead and
movies
explain.
and the career of Robert De Niro.
Here, let me explain real quick. So
All
yeah,
right.
we're gonna, like, sometimes, the people we do the music shows,
Mm-hmm.
movie shows, TV show, Brown and
Wrestling
Art,
shows, yes.
yeah, the wrestling shows, and then Brown and Art for a while did the like TV memories, going through
Yes.
sitcoms, blah blah blah. So all that's been done already, blah blah blah. So I thought the idea up, and we did this before with Tom Hanks, but we haven't done it in a while. And it's more of like a actor spotlight type show here,
Yes.
if everyone understands that. So what we'll be doing, we'll pick one actor, and whether we do this every week for a while now or every other week or whatever, because we'll switch it up. We'll bring the wrestling in, but I feel like the this actor spotlight, movie Maniacs edition. I don't know. I
Actually,
mean, that's
movie madness.
yeah, movie madness.
Yeah.
Um, Actor spotlight here with, and again, it's only one actor, the great Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
obviously, Brown, we've been watching him for years, and he's been around for years,
Absolutely.
and we're gonna
Oh
get in
yeah,
all that.
since the
But
ages, man. I mean, like all the way from Taxi Driver to right now, and he's in the news as of late with his political stance. I
yeah,
guess.
nowadays he's more like this political speaker guy on, Trump, blah blah blah. Uh,
He
and
obviously doesn't want Trump back. Obviously.
right. I mean, a lot of actors don't, but the he's still making movies, Brown. Remember that, and we'll get into that. Remember that the Irishman movie that
Yes, I
was
do
big on
remember that.
Netflix. I mean, other movies coming out, The Fockers, The Parent, Meet the Parent. I mean, we're gonna get
Taxi
into all that.
Driver.
But the reason why, I mean, I was looking. Not only he's hot in the news right now, Robert De Niro, but there's a lot more movies than than we think. You know, There's the mainstays, there's the popular ones, but there's a lot of ones in between over the years. A lot in the '90s, Brown. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yeah, in the 80s as well. Who could not forget the king of
All of that.
comedy?
You know what I'm saying? Brown, are you ready? Do you even like Robert De Niro as an actor? Let
I
me
do.
ask you.
I do respect him as an actor. However,
I really
outside
do.
of
I
what
really think he
outside of
might be
his acting career, kind of question.
I think he might be next to Tom Hanks is one of the best actors. Whether you look at politically or not, and
Yeah.
people shouldn't politically judge someone, but that's just how it is nowadays. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, but he really put in a lot of movies. Brown, do you have you even seen any movies of him in the theaters ever in your life, or
Well, I
is it?
remember. Well, I remember a lot. I remember watching a lot of scenes that he was featured in. I know he did a lot of movies, left or right appearances, and other movies like the appearance he did with the Joker. I remember him mentioning just minutes ago the King of Comedy with Jerry Lewis. That was directed by Martin Scorsese. I believe that was back in 1984, if I'm correct.
Yes.
I know that caught a lot of good attention for a while there. I
You
guess he
hear me, Doctor
played.
Brown?
Yes, loud and clear, man.
I just put it on my microphone.
Ah, there we go.
So what, like, do you with the movie list that you have? Do you have the year that it came out to next to those?
Yes, it does. For instance, we have the movie Joy that came out in 2015. There was also Dirty Grandpa that which came out the following year. There was Intern from the 2015. Of course, the year before that, The Bagman. He was in American Hustle in 2013, as well as what's this one here? Last Vegas, which of course with Morgan Freeman, Kevin Kline, and a couple others. That was in 2013 just as well. The Family
Does
in the
it
same year.
does it show the? Can we start from his first movie,
Let's see. I'm not too sure what his first movie was, but the
like a
one I remember.
chronological? Like type in that to Google, like Robert De Niro movies from like first movie to last, and see what
All right,
comes up. That'd be easier for us.
all right, there we go. First to last. Okay, I'll do that right now. Gotcha. Okay. Robert De Niro's first movie, I'm looking it up right now. The Wedding Party came out in 1969.
Good
It was
God! So
actually
like,
filmed in 1963, but it didn't come out a few years later on.
I believe he's. Do you know what age he is right now?
Let's see. Let me look it up as well. I got all the details here. Thanks to the good old Wikipedia. He's mostly worked with Martin Scorsese a lot of times there.
Mm.
Let's see. I guess he may be in the 70s if I'm correct. Right there. In
He must
1970.
started, he must have started acting when he was 18. I guess,
Right there. The movie that made him famous, of course, was Mean Streets from 1973. He played this dude named Johnny Boy opposite a young Harvey Keitel, I meant to say. He made an instant impression, especially when one compared the energy of his role of that of a so-and-so doesn't continue there. And his religion is basically Catholic Church. And
let me see
he
if I can
also
pull
and he
it
also
up.
won an Oscar in 1974 for The Godfather Part 2 alongside Al Pacino. Him and Pacino are definitely mainstays with the Godfather series, no doubt about that.
All right, so you're right, he was. So let me ask you this, because I haven't got into a lot of the Godfather movies.
Hmm.
So he wasn't in Goodfellas?
I'm looking at that up right there.
Okay,
Let's see.
what?
I
What?
believe he was a good fellas. Yeah. He was also. Let's go with the other stuff there. Taxi Driver. He would collaborate with Martin Scorsese again on New York, New York in 1977, which is a musical drama. It was a
Well,
failure.
what's the? Hold on. What's the? Rewind it. We're going. What's the Taxi Driver movie about? I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
I've heard so much about it. I've heard a little bit of dialogue on it. And let's see. It also features a very young Jodie Foster playing a 12-year-old prostitute.
What?
Yeah, actually, that's a lot. Remember, America's oldest profession knows no age limit. Never has. Like there was a movie called Pretty Baby, in which Brooke Shields, who was also 12 at that time, she played the same kind of role as a prostitute alongside Susan Sarandon. And that came out in 1978. That caused a lot of controversy. So, believe it or not, shit like that did happen a few times, and who knows, it probably still happens
We're
today.
getting
But
way
back,
off
yeah,
track.
exactly.
Oh, that's all good. Listen,
Hmm.
it's a different time back then, but the Taxi Driver movie was that. It's Martin Scorsese guy. I feel like he like all of his movies he made were like huge. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And they were I guess filmed a certain way or made a certain way where there was like dialogue with characters like during the movie, like a person speaking, like a narrator, right? During a
Yes.
lot of the movies. I mean, that was one of his famous deals. But like I'm looking, is the wedding party, blah blah mama, Bloody Mama, Hi Mom, Jennifer Mama, and the Gang Contra. I mean, a lot of these movies, early ones, was this Mean Street ones like a gangster movie too, like a
I
mafia
believe
deal?
so. I believe so. These are movies I'd even heard of until now, because the man made so many it's hard to keep track. I mean, even the ones that I never even heard of. Let's see here. The
That's what I'm
war
saying, bro.
grandpa
When I
the
saw,
war grand oh yeah, the war with grandpa for 2020. Salvage
because look,
Salvation.
because I'm looking on Wikipedia, Brown, but I saw sometimes if you look up the list, they show you like the movie um posters, like with
Hmm.
or the front of the VHS, what it looked like. So when I saw the
Yes, that's
whole
what
list,
I'm
oh, I
doing
got a
thing.
whole list here. All right, here we go.
I got the same thing going on right
I mean,
now.
we got the same, but like this is well, it's just smaller. This ain't really my bad.
All right.
That dirt, I haven't even seen that Dirty Grandpa one, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just gave me like 10 movies. Blah, blah. The Wikipedia's. I'm looking at the Wikipedia. Let's see. So we left off at Taxi. That had nothing to do with
The TV show, no. This was
or
separate.
Taxi Driver. That was a different film, huh? Taxi
Yes,
or show.
it was a different, nothing to do with the TV sitcom Taxi. Nothing to do with that at all.
Interesting. Let's
Mhm.
see. So that when did that Goodfellas come out? Let me see if he was on Goodfellas. We might be.
I believe Goodfellas came out in 1995 with the late Ray Liotta.
Really
Yeah,
believe he because it all mashes up a lot of these movies with him. Yeah, he sure was.
yeah, he was.
Was it 1990?
Hmm.
Wow, Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not forget 1970s Hi Mom. He was in that movie. Also, another one did in 1970 called Bloody Mama. I guess it was a horror movie. The Swap from 1969, Greetings from 1968, and from the same year, what's it called there? The Jones Loop, I think it's called. Les
Yeah.
Jones, yeah. It's hard to pronounce. It's probably a French title, I guess. Let's not forget Bang the Drum Slowly from 1973. Of course, The Godfather, Part 2, Mean Streets from 1973, and of course, Taxi Driver from 1976. That's what that really got him notoriety. That really put him on the map. 1900 from 1976. The same year he put it out, The Last Tycoon. I remember hearing about that movie years ago. New York, New York. There was also the movie Deer Hunter
Well,
from
we're going
1978.
way, we're going way too fast, Brown. We need to slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
Raging Bull.
Oh yeah.
Raging 1980. Have you
Oh,
seen this one?
I did when it was on cable television with my mom, dad, and sister. We did watch it, and that was
Nope.
about that boxer whose name escapes me, and that too was
Jake
directed by Martin
LaMotta.
Scorsese. Jake
Jake
LaMotta, yes.
LaMotta. Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, Lamota. Lamotta. And he was a real boxer?
He
Or
was,
just.
from what I understand, yes,
Wow.
and that too was directed by Martin Scorsese. That guy, I remember hearing that movie advertised all over radio like crazy.
That's 1980. Now, there's another,
Hmm.
and we'll probably find it here in the list, but I believe it was in the 90s.
Yes,
But he was a boxer. He played a boxer. De
yes,
Niro.
I
Are
believe
you
so.
familiar?
Yes.
Let's see here.
The only one I remember was Raging Bull.
That might be the one, but I feel like because when I see this movie on TV, it's like on the HBO all the time right now,
Hmm.
and it might be that. You're right.
Probably Casino.
No, he didn't play a boxer in Casino. Come on.
No, but he was in Casino, which I do recommend highly. Let's
Let's
see.
see. Heat, but that's not the boxing movie, but that's the Mad Dog and Glory.
I believe so. There. Let me.
Oh,
I'm trying to look it up right now. The man did so much; it's hard to keep track. I mean, like Brazil, he was in that movie from 1985. Fallen in Love with Meryl Streep the year before. Oh yeah, here's the one, The King of Comedy from 1982. Actually, my bad. I thought it was a couple years later. True Confessions from 1981 with Robert Duvall. Oh yeah, let's see. Here's another one. Once Upon a Time in America from 1984, just as well.
you seen that one?
I did see parts of that movie. Oh, The Mission from 1985.
Here, yeah, I knew I was
1986,
right.
yeah.
Grudge Match. It was
Ah,
2015. It was De Niro and Stallone
oh
as agent.
wow.
Grudge Match. I don't know if you ever. Yeah, it's like straight up in the old this old version of De Niro. Not this version now, but like the 20-year ago version, the Meet the Fockers version, when he was
Yes.
back with all of these comedies in the 2000s. Him and an aging Stallone.
Mm.
It was 2013. It's a sports comedy film. Um, Aging, basically, the film stars Stallone and De Niro as aging boxers step into the ring for one last bout. Stallone and De Niro have both been previously boxing films, Rocky Raging Bull, and they work together in Copland.
Oh yeah, that's true there.
So
That
this was
received a
released
lot of move.
Christmas Day of 2013, Brown.
Mm.
Grudge. So basically, a boxing. Yeah, look at a rivalry 30 years in the making. I mean, this one must have not done that good. Um, because man, so this Copland.
Yeah, Stallone was in that as well. And in fact, Stallone had to put on lots of weight for that role so he could look like a regular cop.
Yo, so this one had Leota in it too. He worked with
Hmm.
De Niro a lot on this.
Hmm.
Smaller budget film, 15 million, basically a cop movie. All right. But yeah, I knew that he was in like an older, like it was himself as an older man boxing, and they do play this on HBO all the time. Grudge Match, Brown. Keep that on
Yeah,
write that one down.
gotcha.
I'm looking at this whole. So let me look. Let me give you the 90s. You just gave all the 80s real quick.
Some of them, well, a good majority of the 80s. Remember, they go from one movie to the next one a lot of times in the
How about
cases
this
of
one, Brown?
Robert De Niro.
I believe this was a big one. True Confessions in 1981.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that a while ago there. Yes.
I feel like that.
Some of these movies don't really hardly make it out on major theaters. That's the thing.
Yeah, I feel like they were. That was like right. Like when did the VCR and video cassettes come out for like home use? Like when did that?
I think it came out possibly in I'm not too sure because the first VHS recorder that was presented to us was what for one of our first neighbors, and they recorded me on the couch, saying some stuff, and I'm not too sure what year it was. It may have been in 1980 or 1979 or
Like
one of
right
those
about the.
2 years.
Like you remember getting videos and all that, right? Like
Yes, exactly.
Blockbuster.
Yep, exactly. From the convenience stores just as well. Blockbuster. Oh shit! Some of these movies are made around the same year, and they go straight to either VHS or straight to DVD, as it is nowadays.
Do you prefer VHSs or DVDs more on that?
It doesn't matter as long as the quality is good
All
on
right.
either one. But I think now DVD is a lot more preferable because you could just rewind and fast forward without any ease,
All
without
right.
waiting a long time to get to the spot you like.
1985, Brazil,
Yeah, the
science
one that.
fiction comedy film. You heard of that one?
Yes, I have. That was directed by Terry Gilliam, who used to work with Monty Python.
All right, and we'll do Cape Fear coming up too. But let's dive
Hmm.
into the Goodfellas.
All right,
I mean,
there.
we kind of touched on it earlier, but I feel like we got look. I think we're skipping fucking movies. Hold on.
We are.
Well, I mean, let's dive into Goodfellas. And we're diving into Casino. I don't know what
Okay.
Casino was. I feel like Casino was
Oh, it's
earlier. I'm
good.
not
Yes,
sure.
it was about the things that go on behind the scenes of a
So let me tell you
casino in
something. Let me
Vegas.
tell you a story about Casino. Well,
Yeah.
listen, the Goodfellas. Listen, the Goodfellas was probably the most iconic movie he's ever did. I feel like
Yeah.
Casino was up there, blah blah blah, right? But I feel like everyone knows good for like it's probably with movies being iconic, like with bands being iconic, with those huge bands that are, you know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yep.
Your Beatles, Stones, AC/DC, blah blah blah,
Sabbath.
Metallica, whatever, right? The
Hmm.
huge, even though if it is mainstream, whatever, they're huge. Goodfellas might be the biggest movie, most popular, biggest, and we'll
The
keep this in
most
mind,
recognizable one.
Brown, we got to look up the his highest grossing movie, like the most popular one. Like, put that up on the thing and see real
I'm doing
quick.
it right now. There. Give
Like
me a
what?
couple of minutes.
Couple minutes on that, but Goodfellas was. I mean, I really have to say that one. I mean, I've seen it a few times, and then, like I saw it 20 years ago or when it came out. Right, I was
Yes.
even born, but it's definitely up there with the Scarfaces, with the Blows, with all
Godfathers.
The Godfather, which I like Goodfellas more than Godfather. Have I seen Godfather the full movie all the way through? No, I haven't, but maybe it's just a little bit too slow for me, but and I gave up
Okay, I
on it
got the
because
list of his highest grossing movie performances. Joker from 2019. Meet the Fockers from 2004. Meet the Parents from 2000. Let's see.
Rogers was higher than Meet the Parents.
I believe so. Yeah. Well, it was basically
Listen, we're gonna
number
dive.
one, number two, like there. Yeah.
Brown, we're gonna dive into those comedies in the 2000s, those Meet the Fockers with the Parents, but finish the list, and then I have a story on. We'll dive into Casino. But can you
Okay.
agree? Would you agree with me that Goodfellas is his most? Is that like your favorite movie from him? Like,
That's probably one of the most recognizable according to the people today because that movie made an impact. That was based on a book, I guess it was
oh,
called Wise
yeah,
Guy, about an inside FBI informant posing as a gangster to give the FBI information. If I understand, that's what I remember hearing the ages ago. But on with the list of his highest grossing movies. Um, Little Fockers, Silver Linings Playbook, The Intern from 2015, Heat from 1995, and Cape Fear from 1991. You ever saw that? That was a remake. The original was Robert Mitchum and some other actress. He
uh,
played the Robert Mitchum role along with Juliette Lewis and Nick Nolte. That was indeed a and he for that role he had to get himself fake tattoos. He had to bulk himself up. And he was a real psycho in that movie for sure.
all right. So a lot
And
of crime movies, a lot of gangster movies.
mhm.
Let's see what year did Casino come out on?
I believe it came out in let's see, kind of forgot. You look that up there, but his highest, the most number grossing movie of all time for Robert De Niro, according to this. Well, let's see here. What is the number one most grossing movie of all time? It doesn't say which actor it's part of. It could be just all together. Avatar from 2009. and I don't think he was even involved in that movie.
Right. Was he a voice in it?
I don't think so. I don't think he was involved in it altogether. I just
Man, during
remember
the
as Joel
90s, it was like a
Saldana.
resurgence. I feel like the '80s, some of his '80s movies, like you said, they were some of them weren't released to movie theaters or.
Yeah, a lot of it. You remember a lot of these actors, Nicolas Cage included, they do so many movies it's hard to keep track. Whether it's a Jason Stratham or even Steve Austin, when he started his movie career after pro wrestling, he did the movies like Hunt to Kill, The Stranger, The Such and Such, and most of them went to straight to DVD.
Or straight to VHS.
Yep, and as it was back then. From 2006, there was Arthur. I think it's nothing related to the Dudley Moore movie there.
Like the cartoon.
I think it's so. Yeah, it's like a somebody.
Okay.
I believe so.
Hey,
Arthur and the wait a minute. I got
look,
to
there's a brown
Arthur and
coat
the
on.
Indivisibles. That's what it's called.
Look, a Bronx Tale. Have you seen that one?
I've seen a few mini clips from it, especially with that one actor, Chaz Per. What's his last name?
Chaz Palminteri.
Yes, credit to him. You ever saw the video Coke commercials that he did in 2002? When that product debuted, they had him in many of the lead in those commercials. Okay.
Let's see.
Yep. Also, 2004, A Shark
What am I
Tale.
missing?
Go ahead.
I'm missing a bunch in the '90s. Heat,
Heat.
huge movie with Al Pacino,
Mm-hmm.
Val Kilmer, Tom Sizemore,
Yep.
Ashley Judd,
Yep.
Brown, Danny
Yes.
Trejo.
Yep.
And have you seen Heat?
I never did. I heard so much about it. I wasn't really much of a movie guy around the 90s and 2000s. I was all over the
Mhm.
place, going to this place, that place, this place, there. I was a traveler. I was a cruiser.
I'm a traveling man.
Hmm.
All right. I just want to make sure we're covering the big ones. You know
All
what I
right.
mean? Cape Fear, you already hit that.
Yes.
All right. So I don't know, is this early, but the year 2000. Well, hold on. Analyze this.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
there an analyze that too? Yeah, the
Yes.
2002. Okay,
Yes.
so let's
I
analyze
believe it was
this.
him and Billy Crystal.
Yes.
Yes. It was like a comedy movie there. I got gangster, he sees a shrink, and then, of course, takes all sorts of comical turns.
I feel like that was big in the movies. I feel like
Hmm.
that was in the movie theaters and did pretty well.
It did. It did. Yes. Okay, so we got the list of the '90s movies that De Niro did, starting with let's see, Week Week Awakenings with let's say we got Awakenings, we got let's see, here's another one, Guilty by Suspicion from the following year, '91, Backdraft in the same year also the one I mentioned, the remake of Cape Fear with Nick Nolte and Juliette Lewis. Jessica Lange included as well. There was also the movie Mistress from 1992, Night in the City, Mad Dog and Glory from 1993. This Boy's Life, that was a talk of the town when that movie came out. There was A Bronx Tale, as you mentioned, as well as the movie Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. That was in 1994. And I believe, if I'm correct, that was made to rival Interview with the Vampire with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. Because that movie was hot. We all know vampires left or right, for the Anne Rice novel, the same name. So I guess somebody had some. head honcho in the movie studio figure, hey, let's rival this with a classic book from Mary Shelley about a man made from other men. Now, in 1995, he did, what's this one here? One,
101 nights.
yep.
101 nights. It's a French. It's like a French film or
Oh,
something.
wow. Remember, they do movies overseas as well.
Yeah, it was anointed, like some with yeah, French language film on that Brown.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. Casino came out the same year, 1995. Heat with Pacino. There you
What
go.
about the
Mm.
fam, brother?
Yeah, and I'm looking at that right now. He plays an obsessed fan over the baseball player played by Wesley Snipes. Sleepers the following year, and of course the same year with what's that? Forgot to say what name it is.
Marvin's Room.
Marvin's Room. Yeah.
Mar- Marvin's Room, brother.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
ever seen
what with Luciano. What's that? What's that? Leonardo DiCaprio. Copland from
Luciano?
1997. Oh, Jackie Brown. And that was directed by Quentin Tarantino, correct?
Yes.
All right, there, good. That's you got to give Tarantino credit. He always mixes a lot of um, backlash flair with his films. What do you think about it there? Wag the Dog from 1997. A movie at
Ronin. Ronin.
yeah.
Ronin. They just forgot the C on that. They took the
Ah,
C Ronin, and the movie is called Ronin.
yeah, I remember that
Action
one.
thriller film. John Frankheimer. Um, yeah, operatives, special operatives. He was in a lot of those. He played a lot of those, like which went into obviously the year two. He did the cartoon Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle on
Rocky and
that.
Bullwinkle, yes, he played
Produced the
Fearless
film. He
Leader.
produced the film. It's Sam Brown.
hmm
But in 2000, this is when the game changes. This is when he takes that cop slash detective slash operative persona,
Informant.
informant, and it's presented us with a comedy, Meet the Parents,
Yep.
which can you see the numbers on Meet the Parents compared to or Meet the Fockers, whether compared to the biggest movie he did, which is
Well, let's see. Meet the Parents.
Goodfellas. Did we agree with Goodfellas is his biggest money making movie?
I think it probably would be one of the most iconic movies next to the Godfather series, no doubt about that. But then again, so many roles this man has done, it's hard to keep track. People say his role in Taxi Driver is still remains iconic to this day.
Yes. Decided to get on the show, decided to talk,
hmm
decided to do this, decided to talk about Robert De Niro,
Yes,
guys.
exactly.
Now, again, up there with De Niro, Tom Hanks.
Al Pacino.
We might have to bring him on next for our next actor spotlight, honestly.
Yes,
You
and
know,
we all
you
and
wanna
also we got to take a little section to spotlight the movie Scarface and how much of an impact it made in the hip hop community.
keep this theme going of these iconic movies, but like also these iconic actors that yes, they were these huge big names were in these big movies, but they were in also these a lot of these other movies that
We never even
maybe
heard about until recently, just
no,
now.
that's not what I was saying.
My bad.
Right. All right, so Threw me off, Brown.
All right, my bad.
Not only that they do the big movies, that they're big actors, but they're in a lot of other movies that haven't been or maybe weren't released to the movie theaters that we haven't even heard of. Like Brown was saying earlier about the one, a lot of those ones in the '80s that weren't even released. Remember, like Brad, you were saying earlier, a lot of them weren't released in the '80s. Whether they were low budget, I mean, I'm thinking a lot of these maybe were low budget. Maybe he even would you think Brown that Robert De Niro funded a lot of those movies himself?
I'm not
Go
too
ahead.
sure. I'm not too really keen or aware of that situation. But you also got
Yeah.
to remember that a lot of these movies come out on the various movie companies that don't really have a lot of budget backup. I mean, like there are film companies out there, whether it's this company or that company, that they list these actors, but however, the movie doesn't really get that much promotion, and I guess it goes off into obscurity afterwards.
You know what? You do make a good point real quick.
Then, by chance, some executive
The
stumbles
real good.
across the original movie print and figure, hey, let's put this on DVD, and boom, there it
Like
is for the first time for the public to view.
that's a good point on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, there's probably a bunch of circumstances. Like actors, obviously, it depends who they are. Blah blah blah. Like they can, someone like The Rock can do a movie and put. I mean, maybe some actors put their own money in it, but you're right. Like those production companies, they got their money to do that with,
Yeah,
and blah blah blah. But it depends. And Robert De Niro is such a big name, but I feel like Brown. He just became he. I feel, and I had asked you because I wasn't around, alert, even born in the time. Was did Robert De Niro, like, did he become more popular pretty much like after the '90s, like after that Goodfellas movie, after Casino, after those big
I
'90s
think it
gangster
was all.
movies?
I think it was always popular from the get go because the man is a enormous talent, no doubt about that. Him and the movies he did with Martin Scorsese still remain iconic, whether it's Taxi Driver, The King of Comedy, or any other movie he did, whether it's Goodfellas or this movie Casino. Well, let's not forget though, Robert De
Let's have a
Niro is up
casino.
there.
We did. Yeah, let's have a casino because we didn't really give our summary on that. So, like, let me give my story on that.
Okay,
This
yes.
was at the boarding academy. We sold candles
Hmm.
to different businesses all over Oklahoma, like once a week, and that was a big deal for us, Brown, because we didn't get to get out much. We worked on the animals, raised, the horses, have the different
Yes,
animals, blah blah blah,
yes.
and then there was Porsche 18 and up, got to make the candles and get paid for it, but then everyone got to go out and sell the candles, fundraising, and one day, because we always just hit different businesses, but we used to hit hotels too. I'll never forget this. This is crazy. This is probably, and I'm super late
Hmm.
on this, but this is probably 2000, probably like 2007 on that. 2006, 2007, 2008. So I was probably like 16, 17 years old. We went into a hotel, just a regular. I mean, it was a nice hotel. It wasn't a crappy hotel. It was like a Best Western or something or a Holiday Inn. It
Hmm.
was nice. And we go in, and they had casino playing on the TV.
Nice.
And you got to keep in mind that I was at like a super Christian boarding academy, so we weren't watching movies like Casino or nothing like that. So like, we uh, some of the we when we got the opportunities to leave the place, the property. I mean, a lot of people checked their Facebook or at the time MySpace. Went on the computers, the public computers, went live when we weren't supposed to. We weren't supposed to do any of that. We weren't even allowed to like grab candies, had candy dishes to eat when we were, you know what I mean? It's pretty strict,
Yeah,
Brown. So
I see there. Yeah.
every there was guys there with us that were cool, and there was guys that were like, kind of like goody two shoe Christian, like people that doesn't do all that and whatever. So every now and then, like, I got to sell. They paired you up, so I be with people that we could, instead of selling candles for 5 straight hours, we would sell candles for 2 hours and fuck around and bullshit for the other. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that said, we sat there and watched Casino for like the most of the most of the time, and
Mhm.
it was the greatest. It blew my mind because I knew about like him and other movies, and I just never knew this is a thing. And what stood out to me, one of my favorite scenes or parts of the movie, because we were real big into like dressing nice for church at this, at the school. So we would have suits. A lot of us would have suits. We would have to wear, shirt and tie to church. So we would have different ties, some more than others, right? You know what I mean? But I never forget. So, like with that being said, we always like to dress nice and wear different ties and match and dress real nice. And and all the ties and shirts and suits that he wore in that movie Casino, I mean, it always like matched, like the shirt matched the tie, which matched the suit. I mean, it was so great looking. And I just don't. I always remember that because we were always particular. Like we always like, it was like a real big treat for us to, we tied our own ties and match and put together this outfit and this sports coat with those pants. Like it was like, a big deal for us at the thing
Mhm.
at the school. So I know it sounds silly, but I just always forget. It's a memory from that movie. And when you go back and watch it, like he's always like his ties match his shirt, bro. I mean, you talk about customization and the character portrayed in that movie being, rich. And I guess a lot of people in those times, Brown, I guess late 70s, maybe early
Yeah,
80s when that
that's
movie
when
was
that movie
portrayed.
takes place in.
So like a lot of people in that time, businessmen did wear custom suits with with like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So I mean, I know it's silly, but I do remember. I'll never forget that. That's the first time I seen that movie, and obviously I've seen it a million times ever since. But that might be my personal favorite Robert De Niro movie, Brown, TBH,
Oh yeah.
Casino.
I know. You know what? I remember seeing I remember watching it on I guess was the TNT network years before it became the Paramount
Yeah.
Plus. I know
Yes.
my brother-in-law watched it with me and like you got to admit Joe Pesci's character in that movie was like, geez, did this guy have a screw loose or short fuse or what?
Joe Pesci's another character, you know, actor spotlight we need to throw in
Yeah.
there too.
Yes, definitely. Because, and it fits to say that after seeing his character in that movie, it fits to see why many people use the term, I'm going to go all Pesci on you, if you know what I mean.
See those guys, I mean, they're really old now and everything. But I want to get okay, so that's my Casino story.
Hmm.
We hit a lot of those 90s movies. Let's go into that comedy hour in the 2000s when he got into the Meet the Parents,
Yep,
which I do remember seeing at the time.
yep.
I can't believe, I mean, I was that young, but maybe a couple years after that. I don't know. I just remember when it came out and everything. Ben
Ben Stiller, yes.
Stiller, yes,
Yes,
he's
he's the son. By the way, he
uh,
is the son of a comedy team called husband and wife comedy team. Jerry Stiller and Anna Mira, I believe her name was. They used to do HBO preview shows for what's coming up in the following month on the
a
HBO
couple
network.
comedy.
Yes.
You have Netflix, Brown, or no?
No, they have Netflix. I don't have a TV in my room.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
TVs are more cheaper now than ever before. Can you believe that?
I know, surprisingly. You know what? Oh, here's another one. Righteous Kill from 2008. Once again, Pacino and De Niro team up once again.
Did you like real quick this when he did the Meet the Parents? That was great. 15 minutes to score, Showtime, City by the Sea,
Mhm.
Analyze. So they did Analyze that, the sequel to Analyze This in 2002, Brown.
Yep.
And then huge cartoon animated comedy in 2004 came out. DreamWorks was very popular around that time too.
Yes.
Shark Tale.
Yeah, I saw that just as well there.
So he played, which um, all these actors had voices: Will Smith, De Niro,
Hmm.
Zellweger, Jack Black, Angelina Jolie.
Yes.
That was, he played voices in some of these cartoons over the years. But the movie that I like a lot, which is a sequel to Meet the Parents, Brown, Meet the Fockers. I feel like that one's more funnier than Meet the
Hmm.
Parents. There's more there in that movie. There's more to explore in that movie. Meet the Parents is still good. It's classic. Like I might go back and watch that movie one of these days soon.
All right.
Not that I haven't seen all these movies a million times on TV, but it's just been a while. I
All
mean, I've
right.
seen a lot of these movies multiple times. Dustin Hoffman was in there. Barbara Streisand.
Yep.
Have you now in 2004, Brown? The Bridge of St. Louis Ray.
Yes.
Um, it was on this. No, a lot of these movies are based off novels.
Yep.
Um, what do you think about? Did you hear about this movie?
Not
What's your
not not really yet until you mentioned it. Remember, De Niro and all these other actors have done so many movies that we have yet to even hear about.
All right, here I have a list of. Well, no, it's on the same list, but it shows the movies he produced. And the first one it shows
All right.
is, and there's a handful he produced,
Uh
and
huh.
he started producing and in the movies, acting in the movies. 1989, We're No Angels. You heard of
Hmm.
that one?
I think I remember hearing about that one just
Remake.
as well.
It's a remake of the 1955 film of the
Cape
same name.
Cape
Inter-
Fear.
in- Interesting. A lot of, and I'm sure a lot of other actors and a lot of other movies, but it's interesting. Quite a few of these movies. I mean, I know you mentioned a few earlier, but quite a few of these movies, Brown, that Robert De Niro's in. A lot of people complain nowadays. All they do is remakes, remakes. Well, this We're
Yes.
No Angel was a remake of a 1955 movie. So I
Hmm.
feel
Yes.
like a lot of 80s movies. I mean, not a lot, but I feel like it's not a new thing. These remakes of now, but
Yeah, I know.
this had Demi Moore in it
Hmm.
in 1989. Sean Penn, but yeah, he produced and was in that movie. We're No Angels. The next Cape Fear.
Yep.
You mentioned that one earlier. He
Yep.
produced. Um, Mistress. He produced and was in it.
Yeah. Huh.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein in 1994. He produced and he was
Yeah,
in
we
it.
mentioned that before. That was the rival interview with the vampire. No doubt about that.
Marvin's Room, he produced and he was in it. Wag the Dog,
Hmm.
1997. That
Yeah.
movie Flawless in
Yep.
1999 with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Is he related to Dustin Hoffman?
No, I don't, not by all means. They just
I think
have
he
the
died.
same last name. That's about it. And
Didn't he die?
unfortunately, yes, he did. Yes, he died from a heroin overdose. He had a drug issue at that time.
I think he played Capote in the
Yes,
movie
he
Capote.
did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was his a big role before his passing.
All
Unfortunately.
right. Meet the Fockers. He he was a producer in as well,
Hmm.
and he's interesting on that. In your opinion, Brown, for the people who might not know, what is a movie producer? What does that mean?
I'm not too sure myself. I know music producer is the one that you know raises the level of the singer or the guitar parts, the drum parts, keyboard parts.
I feel like it's like an overseer role,
I think
maybe
so, yeah. Somebody, if
like
anybody
EVP
watches the
movie.
show, let us know in the comments below about what a movie producer
Can
actually does.
you look it up real quick?
Okay, let's see here. All right, give me a couple minutes. All right, all right, here we go.
might do an actor spotlight of an actor that passed away. That'll be a little rough, but I just look. I'm looking at it like what I'm looking for is
Hmm.
a name someone's heard of, obviously. Because yes, we want to teach and have people because we have a lot of knowledge on whether it's music and other stuff, but we want people to know about a lot of the deeper
Hmm.
stuff. But the mainstream, with the nostalgia and memories of the popular stuff, which
Right.
popular equals mainstream, mainstream equals popular, right? We get all that, but we're also going to mention the deeper stuff. That's why we're mentioning all these other movies that
Right.
I haven't heard
Here
of,
you
but there's a
go.
lot that I haven't seen. There's what is the producer of
Producers of TV shows and movies make the business and finance decisions for a movie, stage production, or TV show. They raise money for this project and hire the director and the crew, which include designers, editors, and other workers, cameraman included.
so he like basically
Calls the
has all the
shots on who
yeah.
directs and who does the stage design and stuff
All
and
right,
other
so he was
things.
after the Meet the Fockers, uh oh he produced, not directed, he produced.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see here. I like to give Brown a little help on the list,
Yeah,
guys.
there
I don't
because
know help you.
the back.
You
Oh
know,
yeah, did he
you
produce American Hustle by chance from
know,
2013?
we are getting into that. We're in the 2000s. The Good Shepherd.
Yeah, I heard
When
about that one there.
that,
That's for sure.
listen, that had Matt Damon in it, bro. And
Ah.
when I don't know what Matt Damon's biggest movie was, but I feel like that was a big name movie. You know, Author Invisible. No, he didn't produce that one. What Just Happened,
Hmm.
2008. Um, not many. Sean Penn, Bruce Willis on a supporting cast.
Hmm.
It's a comedy. Have you seen this movie or it's a
Not
small?
really. No. What about The Family from 2013?
Oh, Little Fockers he produced.
Hmm.
No, he didn't produce The Family.
All right. He just starred
He,
in it.
the Irish. Now look, we're moving up, but hold on. The Comedian. What was this about?
I'm not too sure. Never heard of it. Oh, here's that one you talked about. Grudge Match with Stallone. The Bag
Yeah.
Man from 2014.
Well, let's see. The Irishman. Now, have you seen The
I
Irishman?
heard a lot about it, that's for sure. A lot of people have been crediting that movie like left or right.
It was definitely a throwback.
Yes.
Uh, of his old, of those classics
Hmm.
on that. And it's like a Netflix exclusive type deal, so I don't
Yes.
think it went out in the movie theater.
What
Um,
about Heist in 19 no, excuse me, 2015? It was him, Jeffrey Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead, Dave Bautista, the WWE wrestler, Kate Bosworth from the Underworld, and Gina Carano, the former MMA fighter who was involved with the
really?
Mandalorian series for a while.
Amsterdam.
Mm.
Let's see. Yeah, a lot of these movies. So it's interesting. And then I guess there's Killers of the Flower Moon
Mm.
with with DiCaprio on
Hmm.
that.
Yep.
It was pretty. I never seen it, but everyone was saying it was pretty big.
What about
It's
this
interesting.
one? Joy from 2015.
Let's see. Um,
And also look up Dirty Grandpa just as well for the following year.
Jennifer Lawrence was in there.
Mm.
Have you seen the
Oh.
Joy one?
No, I haven't. But I know Jennifer Lawrence. We know her from the Hunger Games, X-Men
But
series.
stop on this, and this is Wikipedia on this.
So am I.
In 2025, Dr. Brown, this
Hmm.
Alto Knights movie is going to come out,
Hmm.
starring Robert De Niro in a dual role as 1950s mob bosses Vito Genovese and Frank Costello.
Oh wow, interesting.
And that's the $45 million budget. You see the cast.
Hmm.
I wonder how you can be the two different roles in one movie. It's going to be two different.
Oh, interesting. Who knows? I guess what they do they have him in whichever makeup for this character, film all the scenes ahead of time. Then he goes into the other character with the makeup and such and suits, and they film all the scenes as that character. And I guess they edit it all together.
Yeah, they were supposed to release it last year or this year, but they had those strikes, remember?
Yes, I remember hearing about that.
And then there's another movie, British American action thriller he's going to be in called Tin Soldier,
Hmm. Yep.
coming out way later. They don't even have a release date, but that's what it says now. I know this is I mean, this is movie madness, but like I feel like it should be for these particular episodes, movie madness, actor spotlight. Can we
Yeah,
agree with that?
I think
And
so.
with that
Yes,
being
we got
said,
to do that definitely as well because there's a lot
actor
of
spot
actors.
spotlight. There, he did a lot of television. I would like to bring, because really this is, yeah, the movies he were actors in, but it's about the actors too on these
Yes.
episodes. So I want to say the list of the television roles he was in, which wasn't that much,
Yeah.
but just, Sesame Street in the year
Yeah.
2001, he was in an episode. I don't know if you
Hmm.
remember that.
I remember hearing about it. I believe it was an appearance from, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Saturday Night Live, he
Hmm.
was in 3 episodes
Yep.
as a host.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Hmm.
Uh, I guess this television show called Extras,
Extras. Hmm.
Extras.
Is it
Um,
what describe it? Because there's a
it's a
report
British
show.
sitcom about extras working in television, basically
I
a
see.
British
Because
sitcom,
I thought
BBC, Pete Gervais.
I
You know,
because I thought you mentioned first the show Extra, which a spotlight of what's going on within the Hollywood realms,
it's like extra, extra. Read all about it.
pretty much.
You know. All right, so 30 Rock. I know you heard of that, right?
Yes, I have definitely. We all heard about that.
30 Rock, Rockefeller Plaza.
Hmm.
Um,
The Wizard. How about this one? The Wizard of Lies from
yes,
2017.
you heard of that one? Let me see this.
I've heard. I just heard about it right now. Let's
It's-
see.
Yo,
Hmm.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Woo wee.
Oh yeah, give her credit.
Nada. And that was 2020, 2023 Spanish series is on a streaming television deal
Hmm.
in Latin America, Disney Plus, like Latin America's
Yep.
version of Disney Plus, Star Plus is what they call it, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And then Zero Day, upcoming political thriller on, and where we're going to get into the political aspect of De Niro next, but
Uh-huh.
Zero Day, De Niro, blah blah blah, describe political conspiracy around devastating global cyber attack. So it's going to be a political conspiracy thriller centering on a devastating global cyber attack.
Hmm.
Zero Day, and just another thing on television to scare everyone. It sounds like Brown.
Yeah, some
And
like
but
War Games the day after for the 80s.
with that being said, though, uh, do you think, and do you feel like Robert De Niro? Because look, he's not a a real gangster
No.
boss man. He plays the role of that.
Yep.
But do you feel like he has the right, or it's appropriate, or he's just to criticize Donald Trump like he's been doing for years?
Well, you gotta remember, most of Hollywood out there are left wing. Let's not forget about that. This has been mentioned so many times. One thing we all spoke about is that most of all of Hollywood most of all the people in the state of California altogether are left wing. They're liberal to the full max. And you got to remember, I guess, the parts of New York City. Is he originally from New York City, by the way? Because if he is, then most of the percentage of
Neat.
that
Yeah,
state
let me
is
look.
a liberal as well. I know
Pretty
Ken
sure.
mentioned
Let me
about
see.
it a few
Yeah.
times in the past.
Let's see. Me at
Right.
Manhattan, New York, and he is
Hmm.
80. Dr. Brown. He's
Yeah.
80.
Wow. Interesting. And still keep on going. But then again, you gotta remember a lot of actors from the who worked in the 1970s, like he did, whether it's Jack Nicholson, Marlon Brando, they have a lot of resentment towards the Republican Party because of Richard Nixon, what he was doing at that time. The Watergate scandal, try to ban John Lennon from the states, the whole debauchery, the his "My America, Love It or Leave It" attitude that he had at that time. And I guess a lot of people who grew up in that time still hold a grudge against the Republican Party, let alone the conservative right wings, for that kind of attitude. And I guess they carried it on to the next generation and so
But
on and
you can
so
see,
on and
like
so
you
on.
see that, like you. I'm not saying you're meeting in the middle, but you're seeing it from their shoes. Like that's a good thing for people to
I'm
do. Like,
trying to, you got to see from both point of
yeah,
views. You got to see where, here we have the left wingers who are out there, and I'm not going to try to get political, but I'm
no, no.
basically saying here, I'm going to keep this brief. Too much, a lot of the percentage of the people today are, of course, liberal because of how they were raised. Plus, they were raised in a liberal decade, the 1990s, where it's all compassion, understanding, sensitivity. Whereas people myself and all the people my same age grew up without all that. We grew up hard, ready to defend themselves, fight back or take shit.
Um, I do have to agree with that. But like
Yeah.
you said earlier, a lot of these people are, left wing anyway, so it's not
Yes.
really
Yeah.
not surprising. Doesn't really shock me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
And
you
if
know,
it's to say that's one of the big reasons why I drifted away from Hollywood, because I mean, yeah, Trump made some verbal mistakes with by saying this, saying that, but you got to admit, and you could talk to Bosey about this because we both agree on this. America was in a good state when he was president.
well, that is true. What is your favorite movie of Robert De Niro?
De Niro, yeah, it'd probably have to be Casino because
Yeah,
Casino was definitely it was definitely had a good spin on how the casino business is actually run behind the scenes.
at the time, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Plus him, Joe Pesci, they both did an extremely great work in that movie, no doubt about that. And
and
plus, of course, everybody's going to say, Goodfellas is one of his most iconic movies, which I'm not
what about like
disagreeing with. Yeah.
do more people is Godfather too really like really super really like iconic and good and everything? I get
I
like the
think all
Godfather.
I think the Godfather series altogether is iconic because it portrayed the mafia and how it works, how it's done. And from that moment on, we've been fixated with the mafia with terms of all the movies, the books, and everything else that came in between. Reality shows like Mob Wives, for example.
Man, what a great look. And and we're gonna also see. We'll see how other. And I'm gonna before I choose, and me and Brown agree on
Yeah.
certain actors. But I'm just wondering if most and all actors like 60, 70, 80 years old,
Hmm.
like if they have the body of work like De Niro has. I mean, yes, there's a lot of those movies that, like you said, probably went straight to cassette.
Video
VHS,
cassette back then, DVD today.
and I feel like he played that same type of role of cop slash, what I mean, it
Cops, gangsters.
gangsters, you know what I mean, blah blah blah. But like one of those, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like coolest things was him getting into that comedy genre with the Meet the Parents deal and taking
Mhm.
that role because that's
Yeah,
what he was, like a former agent in that movie. He was a former retired
FBI agent. Yes,
CIA or on that, and he was. It was like almost like a dry humor from him in that movie as that role on
yes,
that. Like wasn't being like goofy, blah blah blah, but like he was playing that straight up character of that intelligence agency person or person, you know what I mean? And
yes.
um
But you know what? The good thing, the interesting thing about that movie role is that it shows how protective one can be of their daughter or their son when they get involved with the relationship. Is this person that their offspring is seeing going to screw them over in the end, going to hurt them real bad, take advantage of them? So
to
you kind of see the level of protectiveness that the parent is have in the deeps of their minds when their offspring, their son or daughter, is gets involved with someone romantically.
no, no, you're right. Well, I mean, look, we're always gonna watch De Niro whether he doesn't like this person or that
Trump,
person
yeah,
or this person. Right? We're always gonna, but I feel like that. And again, I haven't seen the one with DiCaprio that he just did a year or
mm-hmm,
two ago, whatever that just got released. But I feel like that Irishman is going to be tough to beat. Going to be
yeah,
tough to beat. Like it is weird that they kind of like put in the AI, like kind of like the CGI to make him look younger in
yeah,
some scenes in the movie. Like that is a little odd.
yes.
I mean, it looks fine. Like
But it is interesting.
I'm just not. I'm just way over on CGI, bro. I do not care. I hate CGI movie. Like I like the over, especially like obviously the last 10 years, like, but like when it was growing and getting better with like, I don't want to say getting better because like it's just too much. Like, yeah, you gotta a movie, you gotta make scenes just enormous and epic. I use in CGI, but I feel like sometimes it looks too, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the
I don't know.
reason they do that is obviously because some of the, let's say, for example, the Star Wars sequels, and like so many spots, it's hard to. It would take endless amounts of roadies, movie crew, men and women to get all that set up. Like the that one
Yeah.
planet where the remains of the Death Star was laying in the bottom of the ocean. They would have to create all this a massive movie set, and that could cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Where CGI can be used to duplicate that and look realistic for about a cheaper cost. And
Like
some,
some it's cool, but like some it's like if it's like weather patterns or water or like clouds or like
yes,
I don't know, doesn't look really real. The fire, like stuff like that doesn't look
yeah, well,
like
if you're talking about the Flash, that was way CGI to death, no doubt about that.
no, no, no. But
Yeah.
let me have I'm gonna make do you want the same thumbnail as me? You want me to make you a different thumbnail?
All
I'll
right,
I'll send you what ones and you can choose
send me a thumbnail of your send me one little thumbnail that you have, and I'll use it when I premiere this thing on Thursday evening.
make that. And then I'll probably put this out there today though on my channel. You know what I'm saying? Not for me. I don't know. Just whatever. I mean, everyone is going to see everything anyway, but
Yeah.
um I'll tag you in it and all that.
All
But
right. Good. Good.
we'll be live today at
7 p.m. Eastern time. Six
I'll
and Go ahead.
go a little bit earlier. Go 20 minutes earlier, brother.
All right, there. So it'll be about 6 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, my time, and it'll be about 5:30 in YR's time.
Yeah, some
Which,
between that and yeah, let's do that because there's a lot on tonight.
all
Let's
right, there,
start a little.
definitely. Okay, there.
We'll
So
be
look.
diving into like a lot of the music news and everything. There's still more of that I got to get to Brown and
All
some
right,
of the shots on, and then Brown's topic. His spotlight will be
with the rock and roll news, and then and of course we gotta talk about this
no, like
one rapper. Yeah.
your baby of the show will be your the Ozzy thing. What was it? The albums. What were the two
Oh
albums?
yeah, the two albums that the last two records Ozzy Osbourne did with Black Sabbath, Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die. And if you get a chance, listen to those two records and then compare them to the first six, and you give me your take on them.
Like we're gonna do like a lot of it is the music news and stuff, but we're
Yep.
gonna do for the deeper portion of the show to get into stuff that people is not on the mainstream. We do have a portion of the show on that. You know what I'm saying? We don't
Yes.
want a lot of the audience. You got to draw. A lot of people do like the casual, do like the mainstream, but we're also gonna put in there some deep stuff
As always.
on
Yes.
that. You know what I'm saying? But we're
Absolutely.
switching up the format a little bit. We're really and Brown, what do you feel about that? Like really spotlighting the news, upcoming shows, like
Yeah,
really
we
getting
got
into
to
that.
definitely because we don't really spend that much time on it because there's a lot that we need to dig into. Like the
That
one thing I
identity, brother.
mentioned about this one rapper whose link I
Yes,
sent you on what he
yes.
tried to do, and boy, it was a dumb move in my opinion.
No, we're diving into that. We got that identity, brother. Music
Mm-hmm.
news, really
Yeah.
rock news, right? But obviously, there's a lot of other stuff in music that we do enjoy.
All right.
Brown,
All right.
Robert De Niro, Brown. Would you like to shake his hand? Tell him, hey
Yes, I
man,
would.
give
Hell,
Trump a chance. Brother, you know.
but I would like to say, the only thing I want to say to Mr. De Niro is I'm honored to meet you, sir. I enjoy your work. You're an American legend in the movie theater business, in the movie realms, I should say. But
Hello.
hello.
Yeah, my electricity just went off. Sorry.
Oh wow.
You're good. I can hear you.
All right, that's good. The only thing I would say, I would not get into politics because when you go down that path, you're unable to get out of it. I would just credit him for the amount of work that he's done, what the influence he's had on all the generations out there to get into acting. But I would keep politics out of it because, like I said, it's like quicksand. Once you get into it, you can't get out of it. That's
Well,
all
we'll
I
be
can
live
really
tonight,
say.
guys.
We'll do
Dr.
this live
Brown.
later on.
What did you want to did you want to do Joe Pesci or Al Pacino?
Let's do both tomorrow. Let's do both next week. That's for sure.
Well, no, we got. Let's. I mean, we
Or
need to
you
do
just
like one.
want to spot like one.
Yeah, let's spotlight one on that. Keep it fair to every. We gave Robert De Niro over an hour. We need to give every actor over an hour. And look, in my opinion, I like Al Pacino a little bit better than De Niro, but
Yeah.
um,
Got
but these
deviant.
aren't like my full. I mean, look, like these aren't even. These are huge, iconic actors, but I like your David Spades, I like your Adam Sandlers, I like your
Hmm.
Chris Farley. Like we haven't even gotten in like the comedy actors
I
yet. I
know
mean, there's a lot
exactly.
of, you know what I mean. And then Brown's favorites. I mean, Brown, like who's a couple of your favorite actors, just
Well,
off the
right
top?
now my two favorites are Michael Shannon and Mark Hamill.
So we'll dive into that. We'll get into that Star Wars.
And not just Star Wars, other things he did as well. There's a lot. But definitely let's do Al Pacino next week.
Doctor Brown, I am your father.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
All right there.
All
All right
right,
there.
brother.
All right there. So this concludes our episode of Movie Madness. Me and YR spotlighting Robert De Niro. Next week we'll be taking a look at Al Pacino, his body of work, including one we got to dig into, and you know which movie I'm referring to that made a hip influence in the hip hop community, no doubt about it. All right,
All right,
so
brother.
All right.
I'm gonna take care of thumbnail. We're gonna get together here. We're gonna get we're live and I got
We'll be
good
live
thing.
later on tonight with Music Maniax, me and YR, as mentioned.
And
7
that
p.m.
music so
All right, there.
no
About
drama,
6:30.
no
6:30.
drama, no trolls on the
Just
show,
rock and
no
roll,
drama.
baby.
All straightforward goodness. Thank you, brother. All
All
right,
right.
Brown.
Thank you, Osai. Take care, and everybody, subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and notification bell, and do the same for YR's channel, Entertainment 3. Entertainment Channel 360, folks. We see you later on. Bye bye.